This morning, I've been staying here at this temple since Thursday. Upar kamre mein, in my room, I'm staying there. And you know how Thursday, Friday, Saturdays are here at the temple for those who spend time here. But this morning, from 9 o'clock in the morning, I started to see through my window, cars were driving in. Devotees were coming to perform their seva, to do their cooking, and then afternoon came and more cars and more cars. And as the cars were coming into the property, the devotees were coming bright-faced, tilak dressed. My heart was becoming so jubilant. And then I wanted to think about it, that what is it that is making me so happy today compared to the other 3 days that I have been here? It is the same 3 days. The deities are here, the temple. I come in the morning, take darshan, chant my rounds. But today there is some excitement, there is some pleasure in my heart. And what is the reason? So I was thinking and I was contemplating, and this one wonderful story, it came to my mind. I will tell you the story. But before that, I want to describe to you that if a devotee in hypocrisy, I'm not even a devotee, just a garb of a devotee. If a devotee can feel excitement by seeing devotees congregate, by taking their darshan, by seeing them that they are coming to the temple, then I was thinking how wonderful, how much pleasure the coming of the devotees must give to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The deities, Krishna likes to live in Vrindavan. Ram loves to live in Ayodhya. We were hearing Ram Katha for 6-7 days. Many of you were attending. And in that, Lal Govind Prabhu was speaking. That Ram would cry. He would cry entire nights. And Lakshman saw him. And upon asking, Ram would say that I cannot live without Ayodhya. I am thinking of my birthplace, Ayodhya. He didn't mention his father or mother or anyone. He mentioned Ayodhya, Matra Bhumi. He said, I cannot. And in the same way, Krishna too. He would be putting his head on the lap of Rukmini Devi, his favorite queen, and she would be serving him. And his head was on the lap of Rukmini and he would be crying. And when Rukmini would ask, my dear Lord, what is making you so sorrowful? You have all the comforts and the devotion and seva of 16,000 queens, and I am here to serve you. And yet I see you from time to time pitifully crying. I said, what is hurting you so much? And the Lord answered her by saying, Rukmini mohe braj bisarat nahi. Oh Rukmini, despite the fact that I am so comfortable amongst my loving devotees here in Dwaraka, but mohe braj bisarat nahi. I cannot forget braj. So these are the sentiments of the Lord. They want to stay in their dhams. And same with Mahaprabhu, Navadvip and Jagannath Puri. But yet, they have appeared to us. They have appeared here in the deity form. They are not stone, they are deities. They are actually here. Constantly they are performing leelas. So many of our senior devotees who are serving them, pujaris, etc., they have experience of the fact that they are actually here. So if they are here, how wonderful it must be for them to be amongst devotees. Krishna never likes to be alone. So in this context, there is a wonderful story from this grantha called Bhaktamal. There was this Vaishnava, a Brajbasi Vaishnava. He was one of the 8 Astachap Sakhas. Just like in our Sampradaya, Gaudiya Vaishnava, we have our 6 Goswamis, the greatest of our Acharyas. So also in the Vallabha Sampradaya, there is Astamahachap Sakhas. Surdas ji is one, Nandadas ji is another, like this. So Kumbhandas ji. Kumbhandas ji is one of the great Sakhas of Krishna and a great Acharya of the Sampradaya. He was a great singer also. He was actually a Brajbasi. So the Leela goes like this, that Kumbhan Das ji was at one time doing his bhajan on Govinda Kund. For those of you who are familiar with Giriraj. So in Giriraj there is Jatipura, and in Jatipura there is Govinda Kund, which was actually made by Indra himself. And the name Govinda was given to Krishna. So he was there doing his bhajan right near Jatipura, and at that time the seva of Srinathji that used to go on in Jatipura. Srinathji had not moved to Rajasthan yet. So there was a wonderful temple, so many Vaishnavas, they resided. They resided in the area of Govardhan only because of Srinathji. So all the Sri Vaishnavas would go to take darshan whenever darshan was available. Kumbhan Das ji was doing his bhajan, and from time to time, because he was such an elevated devotee, Krishna would actually come sakshat. He would manifest himself and come and play with Kumbhan Das ji. Krishna enjoyed that very much, and what to speak of a devotee if Krishna was sakshat to come and play with you and have his pastimes with you. So on that day, Krishna arrived, and he was coming, small little Krishna with his paje, chum chum, he was walking. And as he was coming to Kumbhan Das ji, Kumbhan Das became very happy that my Lord has come today. And today some pastimes will be there, I will be able to associate. But just at that time, it was 4 o'clock, and the bell of the temple in Jatipura, it rang. And as it rang, Kumbhan Das ji just started to run towards the temple. So as he was running, Krishna shouted out, he said, "Hey, where are you going? I am here to play with you." And Kumbhan Das ji just with his hand said, "Wait, wait, wait," and he ran away. Krishna became very perturbed. This fool, I never go to anyone. I have come to him. I have appeared to him. I want to play with him, give him my association, and he's run away somewhere else. So Krishna stood there like this with his hands, very upset, and he said, "Let this fool come, and I'm going to ask him as to why he has run away." Almost an hour passed, and Krishna had to wait, and Kumbhan Das returned back at 5 o'clock. When Kumbhan Das ji came back, Krishna was upset and in a very grave mood. He said, "Where did you go?" He said, "I went to your temple. I went to take darshan." He said, "Darshan, you fool? I am standing here. How many people do I give darshan to? I am standing here and you're going to take darshan of my deity?" He said, "Yes, because that is my niyam. Every day at 4 o'clock when the bell rings, I go to the temple and I take darshan of you and I attend the arati. It is my niyam. I cannot break it." He said, "Even if I am here, you cannot break it?" He said, "Yes, I cannot break it because I see no difference in you and the deity. And I want to tell you one thing," Kumbhan Das ji said to Krishna. "When you come here from time to time, do you come on my calling or on your wish?" He said, "I am the Supreme Lord. I come on my wish. And do you go on your wish or do you go when I want you to go?" He said, "I go on my wish. I am Swarat. I am completely independent." He said, "Precisely. You come on your wish and you go on your wish. But the deity that is always there whenever I want to take darshan. Therefore, I don't want to break my niyam. I see no difference. I will go to see the deity on time according to my niyam." When Krishna heard that, he said, "Kumbhan Das, I promise you today that if anyone sees me the way you see me and follows his niyam to come and see me in my deity form, one day in his life, I will definitely give him my personal darshan." This is the promise of the Lord. So in the same way, devotees, we should come to see Krishna in niyam. This is what our Lal Govinda Prabhu, he was emphasizing on the 7 days Ramayan Katha we heard. That Ramayan, it is all based on following niyams, following maryada. We have asked the Supreme Lord to come and appear here. The Lord who loves Ayodhya, the Lord who loves Braj, even to Dwarka he prefers Braj so much. Why should he come here unless we are always here in his attendance in large quantities? So we should try and make some kalpa to make more frequent our visits, to come to the temple to see the Supreme Lord in his deity form. And that makes Krishna very happy. Whatever makes Krishna happy makes his servant, his part and parcel, the soul very happy. All of us are looking for satisfaction, for happiness. We are looking for our relationship with Krishna. This is how. By doing what pleases him, immediately the relationship is established. So I thought this morning's experience of how happy I was becoming to see the car parking lot completely full, and so many devotees, and of course half of them, my favorite ones, have gone away to the Sunday school. I was hoping the children would be here so we could talk to them. My request is to the management that when guest speakers are here, try to give the opportunity to the children, at least the older ones, to attend the lectures of the senior devotees, of the guest speakers, so that they can also get another point of view. And of course, the speaker is always very expert in trying to speak to the audience that would be able to become inspired. The entire purpose of this class on Sunday is education and inspiration. These are the two pillars on which our bhakti is standing. We want to become more and more educated, or we want to constantly be reminded of those axioms, of those philosophies, those siddhantas that are already there, but it becomes latent in our consciousness, and we provoke it again and again, and in order to become inspired. Inspiration is the way of bhakti. Somebody has said very nicely, aspire to inspire. This is life. Always we are aspiring for so many things, but the greatest inspiration, the greatest aspiration should be aspire to inspire. And then of course he makes a joke. He says, aspire to inspire before you expire. So inspiration. Srila Prabhupada also said, our movement is based on inspiration. Inspiration is life. Inspiration is what makes you want to make the changes that we need to make in our life. Everything is depending on inspiration. The food of the soul is inspiration. So Ram Navami is tomorrow or day after? Day after tomorrow. The celebration starts tomorrow, which is wonderful because we heard Ram Navami in Ayodhya is celebrated for 1 month. The Lord's appearance, the Ayodhya Vasis, they start preparing themselves. The consciousness, the festivities, all the rituals and activities, the singing and dancing, to welcome the Lord for even 1 month. Ram Navami is coming up. All of us have this wonderful Ramayan Katha in our minds and hearts that was presented so nicely by our jewel devotee, Lal Govinda Prabhu. It is so wonderful. This morning I was telling him, I said, Lal Govindaji, my understanding, my manomanthan about you is that Krishna says, when there is a lacking, I give, and whatever you have, I preserve. And to a certain extent, there was a lacking in our movement of good Hindi speakers to be able to present the philosophy of Bhagavad and Ramayan and Chaitanya Charitamrita in the Hindi language, and in such a sweet way that we would become very attractive. So many of our devotees, in the want or in the absence of good Hindi speakers in our movement, we were even going away hither and thither to other Vaishnava Sampradayas in order to get some gist. Because when you are hungry or when you are thirsty, then you will drink from anywhere. So Krishna says that I lack what you have. And seeing this lacking in our lives, Krishna has provided. He has provided a personality like you, so young, who is going to be lasting out for so many years, not some old speaker who's going to be dead in 10 years, but a young man, a beautiful looking man, a good energy man, and yet at the same time with so much bhav, you are speaking such wonderful, deep philosophy. You are opening up all the Acharya's purports to us Shrotas, to us devotees. This is a wonderful gift of Srila Prabhupada. It is a wonderful gift of our Acharyas and Lord Krishna himself. So when we see things with bhav, then that is how we see things truly. Ram Govinda Prabhu, so many wonderful pastimes and siddhantas and gunas, qualities of the Supreme Lord, Shri Ram, he was mentioning in those 6-7 days. So because it is Ram Navami, I was thinking I would further elaborate a few other pastimes that he was not able to cover, or pastimes of the Lord are ananta. They are unlimited. They are wonderful. The first one I want to start with is, there is a very famous saying, and all of you know, in the Ramayan about the Raghu dynasty. Raghukul reet sada chali aayi, pran jaye par vachan na jaye. This is a great, the Kshatriyas from the Raghukul, the Kshatriya kings of the Surya dynasty, this was one of their things, that my word will always be there, even though I have to give my pran, and Dasrath gave his pran because of his promises. So, in the same context, the Bengali Ramayan, so many acharyas have translated Ramayans from different yugas, and in the Bengali Ramayan there is the story that is being mentioned by the Ramayan that was written by the Bengali acharya. He is saying that one time King Raghu, he was taking bath in the Saryu river, and at that time Ravana, he came to battle, he came to have a fight with Maharaj Raghu, because demoniac people, they have so much power, and sometimes they either want to test their power or they want to exercise their power. So he thought, okay, this Raghu, I have heard a lot about him, he's a Kshatriya king, let me go and have a fight with him. So when he came, he saw that Maharaj Raghu was actually taking a bath. He sat down on the bank of the Saryu river, waiting for Raghu to come out of the river so he could challenge him. So while Raghu was taking baths, suddenly Raghu picked up a stick which was floating in the river, and he threw it to the southern side. And then he laughed. So Ravana thought, what is he doing? He threw the stick disappeared, and he's laughing. So Ravana, with his mystic power, he followed that stick, and he wanted to see where he has thrown the stick and what he has done. So very far away the stick went, and then there was a lion, and it went and killed that lion, that stick. And there was a Brahmana and there was a cow, and the lion was trying to attack this Brahmana, this cow. So in order to save the cow, Maharaj Raghu, standing in river Saryu, was able to see, and with a small stick, by throwing it, he killed this lion so far away. So then Ravana said, oh my God, isse panga nahi lene ka. Not to fight with this king. He is too powerful. So he went away. Later on, because he was a demon, he disguised himself as Maharaj Raghu, and he came to the queens of Maharaj Raghu in order to have illicit relationship with them. But the queens were very pure and they were immediately able to understand that this man is a demon, he has disguised himself, and they shooed him away. When Maharaj Raghu came back, he heard the entire story, that this is how this Ravana had come in order to contaminate my queens. So immediately, Maharaj Raghu, he pulled out an arrow, and with his barn, he was about to shoot and kill Ravana. Just then, Brahmaji appeared. And Brahma said, Maharaj Raghu, you cannot do this. He said, why not? He said, because in your dynasty, later on, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ram, is going to appear. And he will do this task. This is his Leela. And this will become incomplete if you do it. So please, you cannot do this. So Maharaj Raghu said this. Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Ai, Prana Jai, Par Vachana Na Jai. I have already made a promise to kill this demon. And I have already done half my action. My promise cannot go in vain. My arrow cannot go in vain. What should I do now? So Brahmaji said, you give me this arrow. I will take it. Brahmaji took the arrow and he took it to Brahmalok. Ravana found out that this is what has happened. Maharaj Raghu wanted to kill me with this arrow. And Ravana knew that ye baan amog hai. This arrow is what is going to kill me. So he did tapasya and he pleased Brahma. After pleasing Brahma, when Brahma said, okay, ask for a boon like the Devatas do, Ravana said, I want that arrow. So in exchange for his tapasya, he had to give him the arrow. Brahmaji thought, maybe he doesn't know, I don't know why he's asking, let him have the arrow. Ravana takes this arrow and in his bedroom there is a pillar and he has it completely cemented in that pillar. And all the time he's looking and guarding because he knows this is my death. If this arrow goes out of my hands, someone or the other is going to kill me with this arrow. So he's always guarding it. This is the story up till here. When Lord Ram is fighting Ravana and he is shooting 30 arrows at Ravana, all of us have heard this. With 20 arrows, he's killing his 20 bhuja, his 20 arms, and with 10 arrows, he is cutting off his 10 necks. But again, they keep coming back, and Lord Ram is not able to kill him. And at that time, Lord Ram looks at Vibhishan for two reasons. One, is Vibhishan really my devotee, or is he still attached to his brother? And for the second, of course, he wanted to know, what is the secret? How do I kill this demon? And at that time, of course, Vibhishan passed the test. He said, no, you must kill him, and this is how you kill him. I know the secret. There is an arrow, only with that arrow, because your ancestors have made the promise. That promise must come true, and only that arrow can kill him. You must get that arrow, and that will be your 31st Bana arrow. So he sends Hanuman. He says, Hanuman, you are the one who always does all my impossible tasks. Go find that arrow and bring it to me. Hanuman goes dressed as a sadhu, most intelligent, most clever. He knows how to fulfill the tasks of the Lord. He goes into Ravana's Lanka, looks everywhere, cannot find it. So he goes to Mandodari. Dressed as a sadhu, he goes to Mandodari and he tells so many things. And Mandodari, an innocent lady, thinks, oh, he's such a Paunchava sadhu. He's such an amazing saint. So she starts to reveal her heart. And in that revelation, Hanuman finds out where the location of this arrow is. And she's an innocent lady. She says, oh, he hides this one arrow. He has only told me about it and he has told me not to tell anybody. This is how ladies tell secrets. Don't tell anybody but after. And the other lady goes, don't tell anybody but after. In 5 minutes, the whole community knows about it. So she tells. Ravana goes and he breaks that pillar, finds the arrow, brings it to Lord Ram, and that was the 31 arrows with which Ravana was killed. Maharaj Raghu's promise was kept. Raghukul Rit Sadachariyahi Prana Jai Parvachanam Jai. So these intricate leelas that are opened, that are revealed by our acharyas, how from Raghu's time, Ravana's mischievous activities was already manifesting the cause of his death. So, like this, Lord Ram, he has performed so many wonderful pastimes. There's another pastime about Lord Ram. He was such a great king, so just, that he said, anyone who is troubled in my kingdom, he can approach me day or night, anytime. And thereby he hung a big bell outside his palace. And he said, you don't have to go through any protocol, because that's where we don't get justice. We cannot approach our seniors, our authorities, our kings, due to all the protocol. He said, no protocol. The simplest of person can approach me for justice. If injustice is being done to you in my kingdom, come ring this bell. So in the middle of the night, the bell rang, and he asked Lakshman, he said, Lakshman, go see. Somebody's ringing the bell. And Lakshman said, my dear brother, you're taking rest. He said, no, now, please go see. Someone is in trouble. So when he came outside the palace, he saw a dog, and with his mouth, he was pulling on the bell. So Lakshman got angry. He said, hey, you crazy? You're waking up the king of Ayodhya. What is your problem? He said, injustice has been done to me, and I want the king to do justice right now for me. He went and gave the message to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram said, Lakshman again. He said, go call him. I will give him justice. So when Lakshman came back again, you know how big the palaces were. So he has to walk all outside the palace to the door. When he comes to the gate, he says, so the king is calling you, come. And the dog said, I cannot come. Go tell the king that a dog can never enter inside the house. My position is always outside the house. The Mahabharata says this, that if a dog enters inside the house, the ancestors will never accept any oblations from that family. And that person will definitely go to hell. One who keeps the dog inside the house. The deities will never accept any bhoga from the person who keeps a dog inside the house. Very harsh in America to speak like this. I'm speaking Mahabharata. If you have any complaint, you go tell Vyasadeva. I have nothing to do. So the dog is telling Lakshman, he said, do you not know? I am a dog. I cannot enter the house. So Lakshman said, how then justice can be done? He said, you can tell the king to come outside. I'm not going to enter and contaminate the king's palace. So when Lord Ram heard, he said, yes, you put my Singhasan, my king's asan, outside on the street, and I will sit there, my court will sit right there. He called all his ministers. That is Ram. On the saying of a dhobi, if he can send his wife away, banish her, then he can listen to a dog. That is the kind of king he was. So he said, okay, you put my Singhasan and I'm going to go and listen to this dog and give him justice. So the entire court sat in the middle of the night. It was winter time. The Lord Ram is sitting there. And the king was called and he said, okay, who has troubled you? He said, this sannyasi. Please call him. So the sannyasi was called. He said, my dear Lord, this sannyasi has beaten me very badly, and you can see marks and blood coming out of my head and my body. He has beaten me for no reason. And therefore I want justice and I want this sannyasi to be punished. So he asked the sannyasi, the king. Lord Ram said, why have you punished? He said, well, my lord, all day I was asking for bhiksha, and for some reason people were not giving me bhiksha. And I was simply asking and getting hungry, and no bhiksha was coming. Meanwhile, I saw this dog was following me around. So I thought, it is because of this dog. He's an inauspicious animal, And because of him today, I'm not getting bhiksha. So I became angry. I took a stick and I beat his head. Lord Ram said, this is nonsense. A dog's position is to walk around in the gullies and streets. Those gullies, those streets, they belong to the dog, not to you. If he's walking around, why can you cannot beat him? And you are a sadhu? Do you not know any better than this? I banish you. I banish you from Ayodhya. You cannot stay here. That was the justice of Lord Ram. So then the dog, he said, my dear Lord, please, I request you that his punishment I should be allowed to give. Dog said, Lord Ram said, okay, what is your statement? What punishment do you want to give him? The dog said, my dear Lord, I want him to become the Mahant of this great Shiva temple in Ayodhya. That temple is still there today, that Shiva temple. Very big, famous Shiva temple. He said, my dear Lord, please make him the Mahanta of this temple. This is for the management of the temples. Please listen carefully. This is again, don't blame me. It is Ramayan. He said, please make him the Mahanta of this temple. And all the ministers and Lord Ram, they were surprised. The dog, you foolish. He has beaten you. Instead of giving him some punishment, a sannyasi from the street, you want to make him the Mahanta? He said, yes, my Lord. And now you listen why. Because I myself in my last life was a Mahanta of this temple. And I was doing all my seva very nicely. But because of being a Mahanta of the temple, so much respect was coming to me. So much wealth was coming to me. Everybody was bowing down to me. And in that ahankar, it creeped in. And with ahankar also comes pramad, carelessness. And one day, while I was lighting the lamp of the temple, I was using some ghee, putting in the lamp, and I was lighting it. And due to pramad, due to carelessness, and due to being intoxicated with, I am such a big Mahanta, I wasn't careful enough. And I went inside the kitchen, and I sat down and I started to eat my food. But the ghee from the lamp that was belonging to the deity also went inside my mouth along with the food I was eating. And just because of that, because of taking from the deity unauthorized, that ghee belonged to the deity. And I took it for my own self. In my next life, in my present life, I had to become a dog. Oh, I don't think anybody wants to be Mahanta of a temple. Hare Krishna. So these are the laws of karma. So he said, this sannyasi, he already is full of pramad. He already is so much ahankari that when he becomes the Mahanta of this temple, God knows what he is going to become in his next life. And like this, the dog gave justice and he gave the appropriate punishment, but also this teaches us a lesson. How careful we have to be to serve the deities of the Lord. How careful we have to be in the temple. And most of all, how selfless the seva should be. Never there should be any desire that from the temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I should get anything material. Rather, always giving to the Lord. And the Lord, He sees everything. एक ब्रजवासी संत ने कहा है, very nice, आपको आनंद आएगा. चींटी के पैर नूपुर बांधे तो भी साहिब सुनता है. Sometimes we think, oh, is Krishna watching all my activities? All the seva I do, they are so small and meager. Is Krishna actually watching and making a record of it? Or is he actually appreciating, and is he going to give me any return in the sense, is he going to give me some love of Godhead? So many of these things, it comes in my heart all the time. I would rather have the temple president appreciate me than have the Lord appreciate me. This is our consciousness. If on a Sunday everyone goes like that, Radha Jivan की जय, ऐसा हो गया, मेरी भक्ति का फल मिल गया मुझको। लेकिन यहाँ संत कहते हैं चींटी के पैर नूपुर बांधे। Cheetah means a small ant. How small the ant is. Especially in India, the ants are really small. And on the feet of such an ant, if you tie a bell, nupur means घुंघरू, अंग्रेजी में क्या कहते हैं? Ankle bell. If you put an ankle bell and the cheetah, the little ant, with that ankle bell, how small the ankle bell will be on the cheetah's foot. And if she dances for the Lord, then you think the deity is going to hear with all big devotees all jumping up and down. Lekin the devotee is saying, the acharya is saying, to bhi sahib sunta hai. Sahib is hearing. He hears everything. Ram jharoka बैठ कर सबका मुजरा लेत, चाकी जैसी चाकरी वाको वैसा देत। वो बैठा है, वो झरोके में बैठ के सबको देख रहा है. He's watching everyone. He's watching our desires. He's watching our activities. He's watching our samarpan. He's watching everything. That's why he takes his place in the heart of every living entity, only in order to watch. तो भी साहिब सुनता है, and here राम झरोका बैठ कर सबका मुजरा लेत, जाकी जैसी चाकरी. As you perform, as you think, as you desire, as you aspire, वाको वैसा देत. He is constantly reciprocating with the desires and endeavors of every devotee. So these are some of the wonderful qualities of Lord Ram to meditate upon. If we hear katha and we do not meditate upon it, then it just goes into one ear and comes out the other. एक और आपको दुआ कह दूं, थोड़ा सा शब्द उसके बहुत खड़े हैं, कह दूं कड़े शब्द हैं, हाँ कह दूं कड़ा शब्द है, क्योंकि देखिए कभी कभी कड़े शब्द चुभते हैं. They pierce when spoken very strongly. You know, someone told me that on the computer they went and they counted how many times Srila Prabhupada said Krishna in his lectures, and how many times Srila Prabhupada said fools and rascals in his lectures. He counted them up. You know, I guess the computer people know how to do it. And he said, you know, Srila Prabhupada said fool and rascal more times than he said Krishna. And this is why we are all sitting here today. If he hadn't spoken to us the way he did, हम लोग कोई नहीं आते, वो सब मीठी मीठी बातें बोल करके हम लोगों को. But he taught us because he cared. So in the same way, there is an acharya called Parusharam Acharya. उन्होंने सलेमाबाद बनाया है. श्री संप्रदाय के बहुत बड़े आचार्य हुए हैं. तो आचार्यों की वाणी है, कोई एरू गैरू की वाणी नहीं है. तो आचार्य कहते हैं, I will translate this in English. ये रस के लिए भाषा हिंदी की कभी कभी. वो आचार्य कहते हैं एक दोहे में बहुत सुंदर, श्रोताओं के लिए, सबके लिए, वो हम लोग को झुंझलाते हैं. वो कहते हैं परसा कीड़ा नीम का, अपने आप को लेके परशुराम, परसा कीड़ा नीम का, चाखत चाहे खांड. मैं हूं कीड़ा नीम का. नीम के पेड़ पे कीड़े होते हैं ना, तो उनको तो नीम ही मिलता है, और क्या मिलेगा? नीम के कीड़े को तो नीम ही खाने को मिलेगा. लेकिन चाखत चाहे खांड, एक नीम का कीड़ा, और वो डिजायर कर रहा है कि मुझको चीनी खाने को मिले, खांड. तो वो कैसे मिल सकता है? नीम के कीड़े को कभी खांड नहीं मिल सकता. क्यों? क्योंकि वैसे ही हम लोगों को कभी परमार्थ नहीं मिल सकता है. इसलिए नहीं मिल सकता क्योंकि श्रोताओं की ये दशा है. परसा कीड़ा नीम का, चाखत चाहे खांड, तन राखे सत्संग में, मन में राखे रांड. मन में माया रख रखी है हमने, ये करना, वो करना, ऐसे करना, वहां जाना, ऐसे करना. ये है हमारे माया. इसलिए कान में डाल करके सत्संग को और नीचे हृदय में लाना बहुत जरूरी है. मनोमंथन करना है. सत्संग मनोमंथन है, मनोरंजन नहीं है. हम उसको मनोरंजन समझ लेते, चलो संडे फीस आज बढ़िया खाएंगे पिएंगे, 2-4 मिसेस कपूर मिसेस, अरे मिसेस राम से मिलो, तुम मिसेस कपूर से क्या मिलने आई हो? कोई मिसेस मेहरा मिसेस कपूर से मिलने आते हैं? मिसेस राम बेटी हैं, मिसेस कृष्णा बेटी हैं, इन लोगों से मिलना है, इनसे संबंध बनाना है। इसके लिए सत्संग के 2-4 शब्दों को अपने हृदय में धारण करना और बिल्कुल पकड़ करके रखना और उस पर फिर निजी ध्यान करना, तब जाकर के सत्संग का लाभ होता है। So for those of you who don't understand Hindi, there is a great acharya who has said that even though we sit in satsang, just like a worm that is always sitting on a neem tree, neem, there's no name for it, like a bitter melon, bitter leaf, it's a bitter tree. Neem is very popular in America right now. Everyone is using pills from neem, this from neem, that from neem. So it's a very bitter tree, and sometimes there is a worm. So the worm on a bitter tree will only get bitter to eat. But if he ever desires to eat a sweet, something sweet, that is impossible. Just like those people who come to hear spiritual subject matters, but are actually keeping the whore of material thoughts inside their mind all the time. It is impossible to change our hearts. तो इस तरह से ये सब बड़ी अच्छी कथाएं हैं। इन कथाओं को अगर हम हृदय में, if we bring them to our heart, we can become enlightened. We can become very knowledgeable and have great deep understanding of the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like in India, or even now, if there is a proposal for a woman or a man to marry another person, that okay, this girl, the parents are arranging, first thing they want to know is to get to know that person. Once they get to know the person, then there is an attraction or distrust. Oh, he's not my type. Oh, yes, I like his characteristic. I like his feelings. I like his emotions. So getting to know the characteristic of a person, that brings attraction and eventually a relationship. In the same way, these kathas are all noted down in scriptures for us to again and again read and understand and get to know the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who came in so many different forms and performed so many wonderful pastimes, so we can relish them and we can build our relationship with the Supreme Lord based on his activities and his characteristics and his emotions. So just these few thoughts, if we can take back with us, it will be of great help. The first one, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has so kindly appeared to us in America. So far we have come from the land of Bharatvarsha, and he has come to us by the grace of his great pure devotee, bringing compassion in his heart. He has given us the Supreme Lord. In Ramcharitramanas, Tulsidas ji is explaining the characteristic of a devotee so wonderfully. Ram Sindhu Ghan Sajjan Dhira. He says, my dear Lord, Ram, you are an ocean of qualities. Ram Sindhu. An ocean has so much water, unlimited amount. In the same way, you have unlimited qualities, my dear Lord. Unlimited attraction you have, my dear Lord. But Ram Sindhu, but you are like the ocean. Even though the ocean has unlimited amount of water, it is of no use to any of the living entities on the planet Earth. Because you are salty, you are not available. You are not usable. What can we do with ocean water? And then he says, but the devotees, your devotees are like Ghana, Sajjan, Dhira, Ghana, like Badal. वो बादल सारी गर्मी अपने आप को तपाते हैं. They go through the austerities in the summertime and they collect your water from the ocean. And not only do they collect and absorb your water by putting themselves in tapasya, but they also sweeten your water. And then they travel. And they travel to those places where water is not available, where the ocean is not visible. And in those places, wo baraste hain. They rain down on the living entities and they make available your wonderful qualities, your wonderful relationship, just like the ocean water, unavailable to the living entities, is made available by the cloud. So just like that, a great, compassionate, our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he came to this country 50 years ago, and he made available the process of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, and deity seva, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, everything. He gave us knowledge, he gave us process, he gave us the deities. Not only that, but he actually bought this building for us. Srila Prabhupada has purchased this building. None of us sitting here have put a penny towards this building. A sannyasi, a sadhu, a bhikshuk, उन्होंने हमको जमीन दी, मकान दिया, साधन दिया, भक्ति दी, ज्ञान दिया, भगवान दिए, सब कुछ उन्होंने हमको दिया, मकान तक उन्होंने दिया है. He gave us this house. We didn't buy it. 40 years ago, this house was purchased. 37 years ago, 36 maybe, 36 years ago. This house was there. The deities were there. We came, and all the facilities were there. So such is the compassion and the giving of great acharyas. Prabhupada is our guru, our acharya. He has given us. We must solemnly appreciate the gifts that he has given, and his leading devotees who've been here associated now are expanding on the facility that Srila Prabhupada gave. Yesterday I mentioned to the large crowd that we are not building a new temple. We are the oldest temple in New Jersey. There is no new temple. We are renovating and relocating our temple, and we are expanding our temple. This temple is already there. We are now relocating it. Why? To facilitate the community in a more central place, so you don't even have to drive that 10 miles from Parsippany to here, where most of you live. We are centralizing the temple. We are expanding the temple. We are renovating it so that it will be more attractive and facilities will be there. This is what the devotees are endeavoring to do. It's a very big endeavor, very big thing. More than that, it is something for everyone to participate. Golden opportunities do not come all the time. If our children tell us, I don't want to go to school, I'll go next year. This year, let me play. You know what you will get? One thabada. One thabada. So you're trying to be very smart, huh? Next year you will go this year. You'll waste. This is the only time you only have the next 3-4 years for kindergarten. And after that, 3-4-5 years for primary school. You cannot waste this and then think you can go on. No. So if you cannot waste your time in education, and in the same way you cannot waste half a year in making money, and sometimes the children, they're not even of the age and they say, Mommy, I want to get married. Arey Baba, finish your education. Shaadi ki badi jaldi rehti hai, lekin bhakti ki jaldi nahi rehti. Samarpan ki jaldi nahi rehti. So in the same way, there is a time and opportunity for everything. This is the opportunity. We are building this temple, and this is the temple that is going to last us 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. Now is the time. Ye hamara saubhagya hai. It is our greatest fortune that in the maturity of our lives, such a transformation is taking place. So we can hold our heads up high to Srila Prabhupada, to our children, to our parents, that yes, I have contributed, I have participated, I have sacrificed, I have appreciated this project. Let us make it a project of everyone. Vaishya Prabhu was giving class in Mayapur. Last year I was there. Wonderful statement he made. I made a note of it. I loved it. He said, a Nobel laureate in America, he mentioned one time, he said, the opposite of love is not hate. What was the statement? Love, hate? Love is hate. He said, no. The opposite of love is not hate. So what is it? He said, the opposite of love is indifferent. Indifferent. And he said, I realized how true this Nobel laureate was when I was distributing books. And for so many times when I'm distributing books, I'm 6 feet 2 inches tall, handsome and good looking. I'm very assertive. And yet when I approach people with my hand to shake them, hi sir, where are you coming from? They walk by me. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki, Shri Raji Bhagwan ki. So Vaishashika Prabhu was saying that a big tall person like me in America, when you say hi, how are you doing? Everyone replies back, otherwise it's very impolite. He said, I put my hand out to shake their hands and they walk by me like I don't exist. He said, that's when I realized the opposite of love is indifferent. Indifference. It doesn't matter. I don't exist for them. They don't want to have nothing to do with me as though I don't exist. So, dear devotees, the purpose of our coming to the temple, this much philosophy we've understood, that we want to have a relationship with Krishna. We want to re-establish our relationship with Krishna. We want Krishna to establish a relationship with us. Then how can we be indifferent? We cannot be indifferent. Such a great Mahayagya is happening. A great temple is coming up. So many devotees of this temple have already sacrificed. On the board you can see almost $2.9 million. When divided with those 50 families, comes to an average of $50,000 per family. Then it comes to $3 million. Ordinary devotees are giving $30,000 in the course of 5 years. It is a sacrifice. Do they not have mortgages to pay? Do they not have families to educate children? Don't they have desires? Don't they also need to save a little money? Don't they have payments to make? They do. But despite that, they are being exemplary. Let us follow their example. Let us also create this emotion in our heart. What a golden opportunity to build this temple we have. If we to participate in this temple, the Lord will notice. Chiti ke pair nupur bandhe topi sahib sunta hai. Let us not be indifferent to such a project. Let everyone come together and then we will be able to inspire other people. This is my request to all of you. I am always very happy to come when the devotees, they ask me to come and speak a few words, to be their spokesperson in order to inspire all of you, to beg from you, to ask you to come together to build this temple. And when I see progress is going on over the last 1.5, 2 years already, money has been collected, the work has gone on, so many festivals, groundbreaking ceremony. Now Lal Govinda Prabhu is coming and gathering up so many more people into our congregation. These are all auspicious things. So why not bet on a winning horse? It is a winning horse. It will happen for sure. Let us make our participation. Let us make our sankalpa in this. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I thought I should mention this. It is Ram Navami. You have Monday, Tuesday. Anything done on an auspicious day brings a greater amount of result. It is mentioned in our Shastra. For those of you who have made pledges, try to do more, because more is needed at this time. It is not always that we are asking for money, because once the temple is done, then our regular life is here. $200, $300 for a Sunday feast, and you get the punya of feeding 300 devotees. And a little bit here and there, and life will go on very nicely. This is the moment of sacrifice. For those who have not participated yet, please leave everything aside and just think of one thing, that my hard-earned money will go into building a facility, an educational center, a worship center, a temple of the Lord. Not the Lord who's coming from Jaipur, but the Lord who's been here, who has been worshipped by hundreds and hundreds of devotees for the last 40 years. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai, they were installed by Srila Prabhupada. How amazingly fortunate we are. The greatest Acharya, I just read, many of you might have read, I got it writing, that the Madhava Acharyas, the Acharyas of Madhava Sampradaya, just recently, a few days ago, had a meeting with the devotee senior leaders of ISKCON. And they profoundly, they said that we accept Srila Prabhupada, your Gurudev, as the Acharya of the Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. In writing they have accepted. And they said we accept ISKCON society as part of the Madhava Sampradaya. This is a very big achievement. The Acharyas of the Madhava Sampradaya in South India are accepting Srila Prabhupada and his organization as part of their Sampradaya. Let us keep expanding. This is the legacy we have to leave behind for our children. Our children will be very thankful to us that my mom and dad, my grandparents, my uncle and aunt, they were the ones who built this great facility and temple whereby we can enhance our spiritual life here and offer it to our children and generations to come.